You guys ever look at people on the train, people on the bus, people in the woods, all playing something on their phone regarding, farms, candy, or also anime? People have always played these games, but for me, it was this last year that was really the year that I kind of went hard. Listen, to deal with the horrors of the outside and the inside world, many a man resorted to different sins and vices to get through the day. Gambling, porn, smoking, drugs. These are what many degenerates dabbled in, but only the most depraved dare to enter the most dangerous den of evil, anime pixel gambling. And worse, this sometimes costs even more. I am among the fools and proud, but mostly lots of shame. In 2021 alone, I spent near $10,000 on the chance for digital waifus and husbandos, the price equivalent of 40,000 chicken McNuggets, a much more valued and dependable resource. Today, I will show you each game that I spent money on, what that money got me, and how expensive the game is. And at the end of the video, I will reveal how much I spent in each game. So just gonna leave you guessing for a little bit, but don't worry. In the meantime, you will be able to enjoy all the sparkling anime pixels that cost me a minor fortune. And as a disclaimer, I don't consider myself a mega whale. I know there are plenty of people who spend more than me, but I figure you don't really see videos like this often, and hell, $10,000 is still a lot. So everybody hold hands together now, and Omago, throw us into my spiral of shames. But first, did you know that 98.1% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel? I don't mind, but did you know that for every subscription, Truck-chan bonks a local otaku off to another world where they can thrive with overpowered one-hit skills and become gods of their new world? More importantly, a Truck-chan gets to fulfill its life's purpose. So please consider subscribing. Don't do it for me. Do it for your local Truck-chan. Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is an open world exploration game and team-based action role-playing game with a heavy focus on anime, but an even heavier focus on kawaii desu. Even for those non-gacha fans in the crowd, you've probably heard of this one. Now, I know that this might be very surprising, and it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I actually spent very little on Genshin Impact in 2021. A lot of the spending was done in 2020. My peak time in Genshin is probably fast for the most part, but I'll jump back in when they add a few more nations in. This isn't a review video, but my biggest axe to grind was artifacts farming and that damn defense, def percentage, def plus health, plus on my precious artifacts. For the account, like I mentioned, this isn't a showcase of everything I spent in 2021. It also shows my 2020 spending, but it should give you a good idea of how much I've spent in this game overall. Genshin, surprisingly, remains to be one of the most friendly spending games if you are only aiming for one version of the character and not their weapon. Clocks in at about $20 per multi, and through the most cost-effective packages, and you only need 14 to 18 multis to guarantee your 5 stars in. That's worst case scenario. You'll get another 5-star if you even have to go there. Now, the non-gacha folks in the audience might be saying, wait, so that's almost a minimum of $280 to guarantee the character you want? Are you a goddamn psychopath? If you want, I'll dress up as your goddamn anime spear girl. To that, I'll just say wait and see. You ain't diddly seen nothing yet, folks. Let's jump to the next game. Final Gear. Mecha anime girls, need I say more? This is a real-time action chibi style mecha anime RPG game with fan service galore. It's the perfect pick to dump your money in. For this game, I followed my usual MO of literally buying everything at launch. And in this game, you pull not only for the heroes, but through sweet cashola, you can also buy their exclusive mecha set, which totally changes the appearance if the right pilot is using it. That's how they get ya. And the skins. I will always buy the skins. Here's my showcase of units. What's not immediately visible is that most of the SSRs have their exclusive mecha, and as I mentioned, not so easy to get without wailing out. Also, to get a sense of the skins, witness the most expensive skin that I have ever bought at a whopping $180 alone. Part of a total money spent event, so I spent a lot and got a lot of other stuff to get there, but it is semantics. It cost me $180. Want to fight about it? Even the non-whale original skins are really nice though. I'll stand by that the game's got a lot of character, but I definitely dropped it maybe 3 weeks after spending the equivalent of maybe a student loan payment. I liked Live 2D, I liked the mecha, but I made one fatal mistake with this one. The gameplay was tedious as hell. At least for me, I hated the gameplay. I hated setting up the routes. I hated grinding stuff out. Give me skip tickets, please. But we're not going to go too much into that. The cost of this game, it cost about $22 per 10 full and about $240 to guarantee a copy of one character. Tenkafuma. Among the gacha games that I played, there were a few special ones that I might have and maybe still play. I went through a phase of curiosity where I chose to explore the realm of adult gacha games, and Tenkafuma stood as one of the top contenders of the English localized few. Tenkafuma is a turn-based card battle system that largely plays itself, but what Tenkafuma lacks in battle animation and mechanics, it makes up for in passion, plot, and titillating character designs. And to prove, behold, One-chans, tsunderes, and even God? This game had everything, and this is just what I have in my account. I don't still play this game much, although not for the lack of generosity. I just couldn't keep up with the dailies, and I felt like I was losing more and more by logging in less and less, eventually leading to maybe logging in maybe once a few months to randomly collect rewards and pull banners. Raise your hand if me IRL. But the prices were fairly fair, roughly $17 for a 10 pull and about $170 to guarantee one copy of the game. So the cheapest one so far. I may not come back, but I could. I definitely could. In fact, I probably will. Blue Archive. I'm going to jail for this game. So go ahead, shit me out. I'm ready. Blue Archive is pretty much an auto battler style RPG with kawaii schoolgirls who ride tanks and shoot bazookas. So, you know, pretty much normal stuff. This is a pretty hyped release as it had been one of the most top performing games in both Korea and JP for a while, with top-notch production values and simple / easy to maintain gameplay. It's actually a perfect side game in terms of like actual commitment that you need for the game. But now for what I have spent to witness my army and their miniature might. Note, the swimsuit girls are 2022, so I have spent maybe a little bit in 2022, but the rest should fall squarely into 2021. Like I said, this is a pretty good side game that I log into maybe a few times a month. It's got really generous rewards, and the devs aren't really shy to give you currency every few weeks. Not something that I'm super active in, but I'll definitely play some more and continue to play in 2022. The price per multi in this game is about $25, and one of the most expensive games on the list, costing roughly $500 to guarantee one copy of the banner unit. Miss Train Girls. Now this is my main squeeze, the big boss, the patriarch of my Gacha edition. And like Tenkafuma, this game is rated M for mature. Miss Train Girls is a turn-based anime RPG with some of the best writing of any gachas I've ever played. Seriously, who the hell paid for a good localization of a goddamn horny anime game? This release is kind of hype for those in the know, since we don't often get ecchi gacha games, and when we do, they are often very not good. For some reason though, this is the game that I continue to play up to date, and to show, here is my account. This account contains every SSR unit that has come out, except for 2 that you can only get through currency, that you can only get monthly, but I'm damn close and I know it. You've got your fair variety of characters here, and I just love the art. Definitely continues to be one of my favorites of the year. Now, adult gachas overall tend to be more expensive, and this one is no exception, with 10 pulls generally costing about $26 per multi. With 15 multis to pity a character, you're gonna ring yourself up at around $390 to $400 per character. Now, this might sound similar to the other games, but one thing to consider in this game is that the banner has 2 SSR units for every release, every time, every 2 weeks, and sometimes every week. That's $800 if you want them both. Being a man of culture is expensive, but I do it for the people and for the PP. Let's move on to the next game. Figure Fantasy. Why own own real toy figures when you can pay the equivalent in price to own instead imaginary figures that fight for you Toy Story style. Figure Fantasy is an idle autoplay figurine collector game with all the usual markings of an idle game. You gotta have dupes and you gotta have fodder. And like other idle games, spending money will ensure that you have a good harvest of dupes, resources, and save you hours of what you do best in idle games. Idling. Here's my account. The only note that I have is that Hatsune Miku is the only 2022 purchase, and yes, her presence on my account will automatically guarantee that we will have another VTuber spend stupid amount of money on stupid video next year. So stay tuned for that. Let's do a quick scroll of the rest. I liked Figure Fantasy, and I actually played it for a good portion of even into 2022, but I did fall off. This is one of those games where the pockets of Money Man Magoo was obviously more important than the long-term enjoyment of the game. Any game that makes you feel like you have to spend money to make progress is probably just a no-go, man. The cost of Figure Fantasy comes out to be roughly $27 per multi, and there is no way to actually guarantee a unit in some cases, so you just gotta pray in the name of our anime Jesus, Lord, and Savior Kirito. Amen. Alchemy Stars, my gacha of the year of 2021. Alchemy Stars is a line strategy anime RPG, and one of those with a bit better of a waifu to husbando ratio. There's something out there for all you DJs out there, but I'm warning you, stay away from Carlene, bro. I'm warning you, bro. Here's a quick scroll through my account. Lots of 6 stars, lots of 5 stars. At one point I had all of them, and who cares about the rest? Alchemy Stars had top-notch ways to drive desire for new characters. Sort of like Genshin, most of the characters came out with an event and a story, immediately pinging the dopamine request nerves in your body for the latest and greatest pixel. And by God, there are some pretty nice pixels. I stopped playing casually a while ago, a pattern that you're probably starting to pick up. It had a bit of a daily grind to keep up with, and the combat, although very unique, did add a hell of a lot of time per battle. At some point, I just decided I didn't have the time for that. Also, I came back for the Kobayashi collab with 10 multis, and it screwed me. How could you keep Kana from me, you bastard? Alchemy Stars is a good game though, and I always felt like it had fair pricing, coming in at roughly $22 per multi. At the time that I played, there was no way to guarantee a character, though I do hear that that has changed. I will be there for the next Kobayashi rerun. Kingsense, the hit game by Chameleon Games, is a dead, no longer running strategy game. Because of this, I can only rely on the historical footage provided by the fools who actually spent money on this game. What idiots! This game and I have some special circumstances. The mobile game community laughed this one to the ground the moment it came out, and I was a part of that. You know, the game looked like it was destined to die. You know how people look when there are car crashes? You know, they like slow down if they're driving on the highway just to, like, see what's going on? Yeah, I was weak. I succumbed to the base human instinct and I stepped all the way into the dumpster fire. And yeah, it was bad, but I got lucky. I got all the SSR characters in the free pools, and there were skins, sexy skins. That was all that I needed. The dumpster fire lid had closed with me burning inside. Here's what's left of my account. Obviously, I can't go back to this game. It's dead. And as I mentioned, at the end of the video, you will learn how much I spent on the equivalent of slapping myself silly. But for now, we venture on. Konosuba Fantastic Days. You can always depend on the classic anime mobile gaming to make me throw all doubts to the wind and spend whatever leftover cash I got. Konosuba Fantastic Days is a turn-based role-playing mobile game that weaponizes Aqua and makes you spend all your money to get every skin and version of her. Wait, is that only me? Let's take a look at what I've got. Tons of Aquas, some Wheezies, some Yunyuns, all the classics, even Megumin for all you Megumin lovers out there. Just know that you're wrong, but we could talk about that another day. I don't log in much anymore, but I did enjoy my time with the game. Just fell off. In terms of cost, Konosuba ends up on the higher end, costing about $27 per multi. But to guarantee one copy of the character that you want, you have to spend roughly $675. Nope. Next game, Counterside. If Miss Train Girls was the president of my 2021 Gacha campaign, Counterside was my vice president. Those two were the go-tos and reigned all over the plebs. Counterside is a mix of strategy RPG and auto battler / castle rush type of game where you send scantily dressed waifus to their death, and yes, this does include Kyle Wong. In terms of my account, all of this was purchased in 2021. At one point in time, I had all of the SSRs and all of the awakened units, which are basically like mega SSRs. But let's scroll through and see what we've got. A lot of the allure of this game was the gameplay. This game has some of the strongest, satisfying gameplay, so I ended up sticking with it for a while, but just ended up shifting to other games that had less of a time commitment for the dailies. Another part of the allure was the skins, baby. It's always about the skins. It always goes back to Skin City. I mean, look at these. I am weak-willed. How do I resist the allure of content that is meant specifically for me? Content that resonates in every fiber of my body. I do love this game still. My sister still plays it, and it's probably something I'll inevitably get back into if something new doesn't grab my attention. But god damn, this is one of the more expensive gachas if you are unlucky. Awakened units, the highest rarity, cost about $45 to $46 per 10 pull, because it uses a different type of summoning currency. If you are empty, it can cost you the equivalent of $675 to guarantee that unit. Yeah, expensive, but we're still not done yet. My Hero Academia's strongest hero. This is the shamiest shame that I have ever shamed in my professional gacha career. #1 gacha player in the West, by the way, 3 years in a row. My Hero Academia's strongest hero is an action RPG gacha game where the focus isn't on waifus for once, but instead focus on something much more powerful and primal. All Might in his almighty buns of steel. Nothing can compare except for maybe All Might's teacher, who TBH hot as hell. So then what's the damage, Doc? Here are all the units I collected, all done in the year 2021. But the most egregious thing here, the thing that's eyeing me in the freaking eye that I almost instantly regretted and tried to refund days later, is that goddamn SS Plus All Might. All Might, it isn't your fault. You were put in the wrong game at the wrong time. I failed you. This was the biggest lesson for me, and one I'm still learning from. And right after this, you're gonna learn how much it cost me. But talking about cost, how expensive is this game? My Hero Academia's strongest hero clocks in at about $33 per 10 pull, with $330 guaranteeing you one copy of the hero. Listen, my mistake was not getting one copy. It was trying to max out one copy. Never try this at home. And finally, the grand total for each game that I spent. But before I show you, just take a quick guess. What do you think I spent the most money on? Now that you're ready, Amago-kun, let's run through this top 10 style, showing how much I spent on each game. Roll the clip. $9,627. Yeah, I know it's not 10,000. I know I clickbaited. So what up? I rounded up. Jeez. Will I spend close to $10,000 in 2022? I hope not. I don't regret it in 2021. It was an empty year in a lot of ways. And Gacha was actually something nice to look forward to on some days, however sad that might seem. But it's important to note that I was able to make these purchases without impacting my life much. If you are on the opposite side of this and buying things you truly cannot afford, I hope this video helps out a bit. And seek help if you need it. $10,000 did not get me that much, and that's eye-opening for me. But I've got new priorities. I've got a new look on life. Instead, I am investing in this channel. I'm gonna do giveaways. I'm doing better content. I'm doing some collabs. We got the works. We're wailing on ourselves this year, boys. So subscribe if you want to see how. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace out, weebs.